Hey, what's up, guys? All right, going over the second part of this. Actually, this was. I know the last time I looked at Decibel, I was kind of critical. I can still be critical, but this one had a lot of. Like I said, it had a lot of the bands I like that I know remember that I know of. And it's always interesting seeing DSI. And so we're gonna go into DSI where I left off here. You got the. They do these things. The Hall of Fame records, right? So now, obviously, time is passing. We're going to stuff from 2010. This band Ludacris. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. Apparently, a Bay Area black metal band, but obviously, a little different. They rejected gatekeeping machismo. I love how gatekeeping gets brought up a lot in this magazine, as if these people aren't the ultimate gatekeepers. Not these people. I'm just saying. Going over this band, so I never heard of them. I listened to some tracks on YouTube. They're actually really good. She's the vocalist. She's actually really good. Yeah, new band to discover, but you know how it is, man. It's like it's never quite the same, right? And also we have the horror movie connection. Here. So this is interesting. This stuff you see like in Room More or whatever. Like this. This is yeah, we're not here for the horror. We're here for the metal. Like they were calling us gray metal. We weren't quite black metal. You actually thought that would have been a good moniker, but I think they made one album or two albums. Didn't really amount to much, other than critically. I like this rank control. Rank control. Look, call me a communist. I don't care. Rank control was the only thing that you had like in New York. You held on to those things, but they got rid of it. All right. And then talking today, obviously these people are a little older than me. Right. The problems are not new at all. They've been going on and getting worse, and nobody's doing anything about it. Right. What's it gonna take? Where's my kid gonna live? Is he ever going to be able to move out? Is he ever going to be able to afford his own place? Is your kid going to be a hated minority in a country that the can't even function on the level of Eastern Europe? Oh, let's get off that. Oh, what I thought was cool too was the cover, the album cover. The bass player was a creative type. He did it. He shot this the cover of the album. He goes, I'm proud of the cover. People ask me if it was Photoshop. I say no. I took a fucking door in a fucking lagoon, set it up, jumped in the water, and took photos. Very cool. I like that. That's the cover. Yeah. Really good album. Really like. You can hear all the instruments really well. But anyway, I don't want to get on that too much. I like the guy's name Ross. Yeah. And then also, as you can see, it is the season, right? The big epic. We need to have all these bands on one bill because the demographics. The average fan is 39 years old. Is coming to the fore here. So we got Milwaukee, which means the good land. Right? Mr. Bungle. Oh, Mr. Bungle's great. Remember Mr. Bungle? Oh. It's interesting to see who's the size. Testament. Oh, Testament's still rocking. Hatebreed. And you get Death to All. I guess that's like a homage band. Deicide. So Deicide is below these bands. Interesting. Terrorizer. Oh man. World Downfall set. Yeah, everybody's getting old. We want to hear this. The Red Chord, man. I remember them. They were good. Skinless. Oh, my New York death metal. What's up? Devourment, Internal Bleeding, yeah, Long Island Band, so we got the good stuff here. Interesting, look at this. Wait, Marduk, yes, Destruction. Oh man, look at that. Blind Guardian. Look at I haven't heard that. Incantation, Profanatica, U.S., New York black metal from back in the day. Nunslaughter, I remember Nunslaughter. Anyway, and Sunday, I guess. In Flames. How is it In Flames over here, man? I'm just saying, In Flames was huge. Lacuna Coil. It's over here. I don't know. Whatever, man. You know what? You know, you're lucky you had any time. So we got, of course, this thing. This thing in Philly. They have the Metal and Beer Fest in Philly. So, and you got Evan. Look at Evan. So, oh, he's working out again. So, what do I feel about the Brooklyn bands? Typo negative. P is dud. Life for Agony. For that first album, man. And the second album was really good. Life for Agony. In case you haven't heard, Keith's not a. Keith is not. Keith is. Keith is trans. Is a woman now. In quotation marks. What the fuck? Yeah. And of course, Evan was a big sleazy porn maven. Could you believe it? But yeah, beer and Fest Philly. What is this? Beer and Metal and Beer Fest. Jesus Christ, I'm having my own beer here, but yeah, I'm more of an imported beer guy because you know. Yeah, I'm bringing this. I gotta go to work. The Three Floyds. I never had nothing from them. I just thought it was all hipster beer, but they seem to be a very metal. They always get name dropped. And real quick, look at this one. Upstream Machine. Oh, Napalm Duff. Autopsy. Hemorrhage from Spain. Dying Fetus. Immolation. Wow. Where's this? In Europe. Where's this? Czech Republic. Czech Republic has a bunch of these. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm trying to see the lower bands here. Some of them I've heard of, but not a lot. And apparently, Drop Dead. There's a Siege and Drop Dead. I wonder if those are the two the band members split up. That's such an underrated album, man. Drop Dead by Siege. Really underrated. All right, come on. We go out here, and it's funny how they go through the different players here, and they try to mix beer in there somehow. Some people are straight edge, so they don't drink, right? And of course, a lot of the bands are getting older, so they don't want to drink that much. Like the guy from the average age of these bands from like the like late 80s and 90s or whatever, they seem to be 56 years old. There's internal bleeding. I play in a band that plays dumb fucking riffs. Those are always the best though, man. Oh, Crowbar's playing. Oh man, Kirk Weinstein. He goes, and he's like, yeah, I cut down on a beer too. Yeah, everyone's getting old. Billy Graziati. You know, he's drinking. I like this. I like how he makes the good point, right? The flavor of the day, like there's really good tasting beer, and you're not drinking to get drunk like we used to. You know, I mean, I prefer the imported beer, but yeah, I'm not getting hammered. Are you kidding? I can't afford it. I can't afford the hangovers. Jesus. Anyway, it's kind of cool, you know. And you go over, you know, it's just, you know, everyone's getting old. And you look at the beer here. Yards, man. Yards was great, but like Yards, I don't know. I'm not really. I like when they made English style beers. It was something different. But now they're making stuff like this. What is this? Yeah, New England IPA, right? Mango infused malt foundations. The hops, right? And habanero heat. So are you putting habanero in this, my friend? You're tripping. And like here, they make a light lager. We put corn to give it a very traditional light lager body and flavor. And so we got with a Northwest Terrorfest. Forbidden and Repulsion. Holy crap, those are the only two bands I know. I remember, and Primitive Man, I remember them. There's a band called Foie Gras. I never heard of that. I don't know any of these bands, but yeah, Forbidden and Repulsion. Damn, dude. Weekend Nachos. Alright, so now we get to the main thing. We get into Decibel, right? Now, I told you back in the day, right? Glenn Benton, remember Metal Maniacs? Catherine Ludwig, you know, the Justice Warrior back then, would not have him on. Right? And so they go through here, they talk about, you know, Mr. Curmudgeon, you know, lives, of course, in Tampa. He's trying to get in shape, you know, again. He's eating keto. He's on the bike. But, you know, And kind of funny anecdotes here, but this thing is interesting. Nah, I mean, yeah, the guy was very anti-Christian, almost like in a WWF way, right? Rather than a Varg, Vikerness way, right? DSI were right about numerous hot button social issues. Really, he wasn't a bleeding heart liberal, right? Anyway, many of his critics have been proven to be as terrible as DSI claimed. The Catholic Church is still embroiled in a pedophilia scandal. Jesus Christ. Actually, the Catholic Church is probably being run by evil pedophiles who are all for all the things you guys are for in this magazine. Evangelicals are burning books. Are they? Supporting would-be dictators. Who's that? And making life miserable for any neighbors who aren't white Christians. Oh, they messed the fuck up. Oh, I guess I'm not being my usual witty self. Yeah. But it's kind of what's cool about Glenn. He had two kids who are well adjusted. Right? He's kind of older, and apparently, from reading this, him and Steve, the drummer, who are still the original members of the band, they've done well financially. Apparently, Glenn had a good business sense, so these guys don't have to worry about money. That actually is probably the coolest thing in this article from a realistic perspective. Right? And going over how Glenn, he's not as crazy as he was before, but he's still, he's not a snowflake. Glenn Benton may be more mindful, but he's certainly not woke. So it's funny just going down the thing here, I like this one here. I was just writing the pandemic. I was just writing songs and smoking a lot of weed like everybody. I got vaccinated. All right. He's a tough guy. Okay, in the end, even he got vaccinated. I got vaccinated. He didn't have to. Right? I got vaccinated for it. And what happened? I got it. And I got it again. Right? And again. And again. Yeah, right? I couldn't say that a couple of years ago, could I? Right? No mention of actual censorship that went on. But we got. I like the Bigfoot sighting. I saw Bigfoot down in Florida. So yeah, it was just kind of funny, reading it. Of course, they talk about the Stench of Redemption. What an album that was when the Hoffman brothers were gone. And they keep, but they still, once again, to go back to this, you have to go back to the Satanic Panic. You have to go back to the 80s. You have to go back to this, what is the West Memphis 3, right? It was just, I almost couldn't believe the guys were white, all the guys that were for them. But they have to go back to the 80s. I'm not saying, to find this thing, to find when the conservatives were a force, which they were hardly anymore, right? Home government decided a conservative culture war. Oh yeah, he's a real conservative culture warrior. So don't criticize. Don't criticize. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm running out of time here. Am I gonna do 3 videos? I can't. Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting seeing DSI. And once again, ironies, right? To show you what the truth is, where we're really at. How, in the end, back then was almost a joke. Benton also finds it increasingly difficult to be that foil, right? A boogeyman in our divided culture. While Benton's nemesis in the 90s were expected, churches, parents, and conservative politicians, his outspokenness even bristles, people who consider themselves metal fans, even. Politics are so hopelessly polarized that any strong statement is attacked. As a result, Benton mulls retiring in Tennessee or West Virginia, places where his music was likely attacked. Why is that? Why is that? You know what, dude? Our lifetimes, 40 or somethings, 50 somethings, 30 somethings. I can't speak for the 20 somethings. I couldn't imagine it. It was all a lie, man. It was all a fucking illusion. But it's not a fucking illusion now, is it? So, I'll do one more vid because I like to round it out a little bit better. But DSI's great, but yeah, that first album, the second album, and I want to say real quick, Glenn Benton is a very underrated bass player. Look at him play, listen to him play, listen to the bass lines and Deicide. He plays with a pick, but listen to the bass lines. Guy is probably one of the most underrated bass players in metal. Honest, straight up, no lie, no lie. All right, later.